I'm Kandiss Harmon, and my husband's name is John Harmon, and we have a 4-year-old son named Marcus Harmon. John and I met 8 years ago, and when we met, neither one of us were followers of Christ. We were both raised in challenging backgrounds, and when I met John, John was addicted to meth, and he was also addicted to alcohol. And I was addicted to alcohol and addicted to food, and we both had pornography addictions. John and I were kind of a mess for the first 5 years, really, of our journey together. John ended up in hospital a couple times for overdosing. I ended up homeless on the street. We both lost our jobs. We both spent time homeless for about a year. We got pregnant. I found out that I was pregnant when I was 8 months pregnant, so he was a surprise to us. After we had our baby, we just decided that we needed to do something different because the drinking was getting bad again and I was just feeling alone. And John's boss for the job that he worked at ended up inviting him to Hope for Addiction. Having gone to so many other rehab programs and step programs, I didn't want to go. And I laugh about it now because I remember that night thinking, oh, this is just another recovery group, let me just go to support my husband and he needs this more than I do. And then from the very first 5 minutes of the meeting of walking in, we both looked at each other and we were like, this is exactly where we're supposed to be. And we really felt God pulling on our hearts and telling us that this is where we belong. The topic was on community, and they were asking questions like, do you have anybody in your life to walk beside you while you're struggling? And I remember breaking down in tears and just sharing that no, we had nobody in our lives. We had alienated everybody in our life due to our addictions and bridges that we had burned, and we had nobody, and we were just alone, and we were struggling and drowning in our addictions. John was literally dying after overdosing, and we were just at the end of ourselves. We had nowhere else to go. And from that first meeting, they invited us to a Bible study. And after the Bible study, we were able to make some connections and started talking to people more, and we decided to go back for another Hope for Addiction meeting. And then we just kept coming back, and each week, I just remember every single week just breaking down because the topics were so heavy for what we were going through. But it was God really convicting us and encouraging us at the same time for us to hear that there was hope for our addictions, and the sin and the struggles that we were in was something we had never heard before. And the people that just loved us and accepted us for the giant mess that we were, week after week after week, just people pouring their hearts out to us and us being able to talk to them openly and not feel like we were judged and not feel ashamed was just a miracle to us. And we ended up joining Trinity Bible Church because we became members, and after so much Bible study, we realized that we needed to be baptized and we needed to be in a church family. And thankfully, the people in Trinity were willing to walk alongside us, and now we have this amazing support. We have support for everything that we've been going through, and the church has been there for us for the last 2 years in so many different ways. I mean, they've seen us through relapses, and they've seen us through parenting breakdowns, and they've seen us lose jobs and get jobs, and they've seen my husband through surgeries. And it's just to have that kind of support and to have people to reach out to say, hey man, I'm really struggling with this week, is just so helpful to us. And at Hope for Addiction, they really stress it's a heart change. It's not a behavior modification. It's a heart change, and it's about your relationship with Christ. And not only do you get the support from Hope for Addiction, but then the local church comes alongside you, and all of a sudden you have this church family to walk alongside you for the rest of your life and to build relationships that will last forever. And now John and I were just a happy family, and God has provided financially for us. We're debt-free for the first time in our life, and we're raising our 4-year-old son to walk with Jesus and to care for his soul and to break the chain of dysfunction and the chain of addiction in our own families with our son. Just where we are now is completely different than where John and I have ever been in our lives before. John is now sober for the first time in his entire life since he was 11 years old. He's gone 2 years without drinking, and I'm going on 2 years without drinking. And since I've surrendered my food addiction, I've lost 80 pounds, and my plan is to hit 100 pounds this year. But I think we are where we are because we surrendered our lives to Jesus.